Here we are again. Cheers. Um, yeah, look, I thought I'd leave this one until a lot of the hoo-ha is over and done with this let it be shit. And it brought back a memory when I worked for the post office. Um, 20 years ago, there was a manager of a post office up on the lower North Shore of Sydney, up in the rich area. And he was a nice guy, you know. I used to like going in there and chatting with him about music. But he was selling bootlegs of Let It Be movie, uh, VHSs, not even DVDs. And oh, it was like, I remember seeing Let It Be. I don't know when. Was it on television at the theatre in 1970? I have no recollection, but I know I saw it. And yeah, it's just one of those things. It was like 30 years after I'd seen it, and I thought, oh gee, I want to see it again because I liked all the arguing that was going on. But so he sort of sold me a VHS. I don't know, probably $20 or something. And I always remember him saying, you know, I was talking to him. I said, aren't you sort of worried about being sprung for bootlegging a movie? And he said, well, look, my wife needs a new kitchen. And it wouldn't have been a week or two later, maybe a month at the most. I went up there and I pulled in. And I went to go in to say hello. And I said, oh, where is so and so? And they said, oh, he got sacked. I went, what? And they said, yeah, he was selling bootleg VHSs of Let It Be by the Beatles. And he wasn't just selling it to people he knew. He was obviously flogging them all over the place. It wasn't great quality, but it was watchable. And I always remember that. I thought, oh my God, this is what happens when you're a Beatle fanatic. You know, it takes over their whole life. And it's just, I've never understood it. I've never ever been a fanboy. You know, it's like, and to make music, you know, from my first record I bought 1958 right up until about 2000, which is a pretty good stretch. That's what, 60s, 70s, 80s. That's 40 years. That's 4 decades of just constant buying records and cassettes occasionally for the car. And how anyone could be obsessed about something, I just don't get it. You know, like there's so much great music in the 60s, the 70s, and even the 80s, even though it was different, but there's still great stuff there. How anyone can be just stuck with this? You know what I mean? Like in the 60s, you bought a single, you played it for a week and threw it in your cupboard because another great one would come out, or maybe half a dozen that week. In the 70s, I was buying an album a day. If I'd kept every album I'd ever bought, Christ, I'd have 100,000 of the bloody things, you know? And it was like there was nothing else at the time. There was no internet. There was TV was pretty good in the 70s, and movies were actually really good in the 70s. But there was all about buying albums and the NME and Melody Maker and Rolling Stone, and then in the 80s Mojo and Q magazine. I spent all my money on pinball machines, beer, cigarettes, records, pop magazines, and that was it. But I loved every minute of it. Anyway, I just had to do it because I watched Mazzy's video on the Let It Be box set, and oh, God bless him, you know, he loves his Beatles. You know. That's all right, whatever turns you on. I just had to pass that one on. I just thought, yeah, I thought it's a very dangerous thing to be a Beatles fanatic. The poor bugger, you know. God knows where he ended up. Anyway, let it be.